Welcome to my channel. I'm Gary Wiriawan, and today I want to share some things that you might need to know before you are switching to Micro Four Thirds camera system. Intro. So as some of you guys might already know, I'm a heavy Micro Four Thirds camera system user. I have plenty of Micro Four Thirds cameras, I have plenty of Micro Four Thirds lenses. I use Micro Four Thirds for my primary camera system for most of my photography and video needs, and I'm quite happy with Micro Four Thirds in general. However, I want to stay objective when I'm sharing my information in this channel. So today I'm going to share some things that you need to know before you are jumping into a Micro Four Thirds camera system. Whether you want to complement your other camera system with Micro Four Thirds, or if you just want to commit into Micro Four Thirds system fully, hopefully by watching this video you'll get better understanding about what to expect when you use Micro Four Thirds camera. How will it compare to the other camera systems or even your phone? And if you already own a Micro Four Thirds camera or lenses, hopefully this video can still be useful for you. And let's have a discussion down below. Share what are your thoughts about using Micro Four Thirds camera and what people need to know before they start using one. Now let's start with the image quality. So if you are switching to Micro Four Thirds from just using your phone for both photography and video, I think you will be happy with the jump of image quality of using a dedicated Micro Four Thirds camera. Everything will be much more detailed, low light performance will be better, you'll get nicer looking image, and I think you will love using Micro Four Thirds camera if you only previously used just your phone for photography and video. However, if you are switching from a larger format camera, if it's an older camera, then it doesn't really matter. You'll still see some jump in terms of image quality when you're switching to Micro Four Thirds. It all depends on the year of the camera, the technology, that kind of stuff. However, if you are using newer stuff, maybe you will see some decrease in terms of quality, especially when you're shooting in lower light condition in high ISO. Maybe you will see more grain in Micro Four Thirds, maybe you will see less detail. It's all very personal, everyone's different. For me personally, I'm very happy with the low light performance of my Micro Four Thirds cameras up to ISO 3200. And even then, if I need more low light capabilities, I can just use some softwares to help me reduce noise in lower light situation and in high ISO. Next thing to consider is depth of field. If you are switching from larger format cameras like full frame or APS-C cameras, then when you switch to Micro Four Thirds, you'll notice that everything now is more in focus. You'll get less background blur, and that may be a good thing if you are doing landscape photography or travel photography or even street photography. That makes nailing focus much easier with Micro Four Thirds cameras. If you are switching from a smartphone camera, although most smartphone cameras nowadays do have portrait mode and they can create artificial background blur that looks very realistic, in my personal opinion, nothing really beats a real background blur produced by the combination of larger sensor and large aperture lens. So yeah, the background blur created by Micro Four Thirds cameras will look much more convincing, much more natural compared to what you get from the portrait mode of a smartphone's camera. Now let's talk about portability when it comes to switching to Micro Four Thirds. If you are coming from a smartphone, the answer is pretty simple. It will be less portable compared to your phone, definitely because the depth of the camera body is much thicker compared to the depth of a regular smartphone, and you still have to attach a lens to your camera, so it will be a few centimeters anyway, so it's not gonna be as portable as your phone. But if you're switching from a larger format camera, well, it's a little bit complicated. In the past, Micro Four Thirds used to be all about portability, smaller, lighter camera that still packs a lot of punch and still pack a good enough image quality. But nowadays, they start to focus more and more towards professional, expensive, big, heavy camera bodies. Not like this one. This is still considered portable in Micro Four Thirds. They now have much bigger cameras and much bigger lens. So yeah, it really depends. If you want to switch and try to use the classic older cameras like the Panasonic Lumix GX850 or GX85 like the one right here, or if you want to switch to Olympus pen system, they're smaller, they're lighter, so they can be smaller compared to APS-C or full frame cameras. But if you want to use the pro grade bodies like maybe the G9 or something like that, over here I have the G85. It is already large enough for me, so yeah, maybe it's not going to be as portable. So yeah, I recommend you to go to the classic route, the smaller guys like this one, and you'll be more portable and you'll reduce size and weight compared to your APS-C and full frame cameras. Now let's talk about lens selection if you are considering to use Micro Four Thirds camera. If you're coming from smartphones, flagship smartphone nowadays usually have 3 cameras on them. They'll have ultra wide, normal, and then telephoto. With Micro Four Thirds, I'm happy to report that you can be more flexible compared to using your smartphone's camera. There's all kinds of lenses from ultra wide to telephoto, and you can cover anything in between, and you can even have longer lens than the telephoto lens on your smartphone, wider lens from the ultra wide camera on your smartphone, and yeah, flexibility will be no problem. However, if you are coming from other mirrorless format, well, I'm still happy to report that Micro Four Thirds is one of the most mature mirrorless camera format in the market. So that means they have great lens selection. They have 2 brands covering the lenses. One is from Panasonic Lumix, and then the other is from OM System or Olympus. And then there are even third-party lenses available that you can choose from. However, nowadays, a lot of camera manufacturers from other formats start to catch up in that regard. So now they even have lenses that are not available in Micro Four Thirds. So you have to check first, check out the Panasonic Lumix website, check out the Olympus OM System website, check out the third-party lenses as well. Make sure that the lenses that you need are available in Micro Four Thirds. Now let's talk about price when considering to use Micro Four Thirds cameras. So this is a little bit interesting as well. As I mentioned earlier, Micro Four Thirds consists of different brands. Mainly 2 brands working on Micro Four Thirds. First is Panasonic Lumix, and then the other is Olympus or OM System. And then there are also plenty of third-party brands working on Micro Four Thirds. So you have lots of selections when it comes to camera bodies and lenses from all different kinds of brands, covering anything from ultra budget all the way to high end. With that said, when it comes to price, you can select anything from really cheap, budget-friendly cameras and lenses all the way to professional, high-grade, expensive stuffs. You can go with something very budget-friendly like this guy right here. This is my Panasonic Lumix GX850 or the Olympus Pen EPL series if you don't really need that much of a feature set. And you can go all the way to professional, high-grade, expensive stuff, maybe like a Panasonic Lumix GH6 or the Olympus OM System OM1. They're really expensive, but they have plenty of features. So yeah, again, that really depends on what you need from a camera, what features do you really want from it. But I'm happy to report that even if you select budget options, you can still get great image quality with Micro Four Thirds cameras and lenses. The original philosophy of Micro Four Thirds is to have cameras and lenses that are smaller, lighter, and budget-friendly, but they still pack a lot of punch, performance, and they still have great image quality. So if you don't really need advanced features and you just want to go with the budget options, I think you'll still be happy with Micro Four Thirds and you can still get great result. Last but not least, I want to talk about in-body image stabilizer. It's a feature that is now available in almost any camera formats, full frame, APS-C, and Micro Four Thirds. But in Micro Four Thirds, I think it's implemented very well. So the function of in-body image stabilizer is that you can use any kind of lenses, whether it's stabilized or not, to shoot handheld video without a tripod or gimbal, or maybe for taking pictures in lower light situation, slow shutter speed, again without tripod or any kind of support in that matter. And in full frame and APS-C, you'll have a certain degree of stabilizer that works really well. But in Micro Four Thirds, it's so much better. It's just physics. It's because the sensor size in Micro Four Thirds is smaller, so it's more easier to stabilize. There's less mechanical stuff going on the sensor, so it's much more efficient and effective. So although you can get this feature again from full frame or APS-C, when you switch to Micro Four Thirds, you'll get better in-body image stabilizer. And that wraps up today's video. So those are all the things that I want to share that you have to consider before you are switching or start using Micro Four Thirds cameras. Hopefully this video has been helpful and be able to clear some things up, and hopefully this can help you to consider whether Micro Four Thirds is the correct camera system for you or not. So please share on the comment down below. Again, are you using Micro Four Thirds? And if you do, what things that people need to consider before they start using Micro Four Thirds? If you have any question in today's video, please comment down below as well. I will try my best to answer them. Also, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. And if you want to support my channel further, consider using the affiliate links on the description or use the super thanks button to make a small donation to my channel. Thank you and see you on the next video. Goodbye.